Hi y'all, it's Crystal from Crystal Code Design. Today we're making the Nebbia blanket. I'm using Line Brand's Wool Ease Thick and Quick, a number 6 super bulky yarn, and a 9mm US size M crochet hook. For the 36 by 36 inch blanket, I'm using about 6 balls of the Wool Ease, so about 606 yards. If you'd like to make a different size blanket, be sure to check the description for the suggested yarn amounts. Okay, to get started here, I'm going to start with a slip knot on my hook. Then I'm going to foundation double crochet 72 for 36 inch width. If you would like to make a different size blanket, you can start with an even number of stitches. So you can add or subtract to my foundation with in twos. If you also don't want to do the foundation double crochet, you can start with a chain of 2 more than what you want your final stitch count to be. So if I wanted 72 stitches here, I would chain 74 and then double crochet in the 3rd chain from my hook. And those skip chains would not count. Okay, continue foundation double crocheting until you have an even number of stitches. 72 for 36 inches, what I'm working toward here. Okay, once you have enough stitches to meet your width, you want to double check that you have an even number for the stitch pattern to work out correctly. Now we're going to start with the chain 3 or alternative like I'm going to do here. And that's my first stitch of the row. In the next stitch, I'm going to work a double crochet under the front loop only. And then in the next stitch, I'm going to make a back loop only double crochet. And then that's going to be my stitch pattern across. Front loop double crochet, back loop double crochet. And I'll keep repeating that until I only have 1 stitch left. Okay, here we are at the end of the row with 2 stitches left, so we're going to back loop double crochet here, and then in the last stitch we will make a regular double crochet going under both loops. And then it's time to turn our work, and for row 3 we are going to repeat row 2. So we'll start with our chain 3 or alternative. Then front loop only double crochet in the next, and back loop double crochet in the following. Continue to repeat those 2 across until you have 1 stitch left. Okay, here we are at the end of the row with 2 stitches left, so we're going to back loop double crochet here, and then in the last stitch we will make a regular double crochet going under both loops. And then you just repeat that 1 row for the length of your blanket. For this blanket sample, I'm making it 36 inches wide by 36 inches long. So eventually you'll need to add another ball of yarn on, so I thought I would show you how I do that here. Let me just get set up here with my new yarn and the end of my first yarn. I'm going to start my stitches normally, but I'll stop before my last yarn over. Okay, so I'm going to change on the next stitch. Then my front loop double crochet, and I'm going to begin at normal, here the first half of the stitch. Before the last yarn over, stop, pick up my new yarn, yarn over in the new yarn, and pull that through. Then I just continue crocheting as normal. I will work over the tails a little bit here just to secure them, and then at the end I will come back and weave those in. Okay, now we're at the last stitch, so we're just going to pull up a tall loop here and cut our yarn. You want to leave at least 6 inches to weave in, if not a little bit more. And then I'm using my large eye yarn needle. Thread the end of my yarn tail in. Sew the yarn tail through the stitches, folding along the side here, and then back and forth through the stitches and rows. I have a more in-depth weave in your ends video tutorial I can link up for you in the description, but the idea is just to weave it away from the ending and to follow the stitches, continuing up, down, left, right, work in different directions to secure it so that it doesn't get pulled loose until your tail is completely weaved in, and then you can just trim that end. When the tail gets really short like this, I just feed the yarn needle ahead through the stitches it's going to go through, and then put the yarn tail back through the eye, and then pull it through that way. There we go. And we're all finished. I'll just need to repeat that for all the ends, weave those in, and my Nebbia blanket will be all done and ready to use.